Well, if it's not within the scope of the statute, then we can't do it. But I think it's a worthwhile use of our funds,
Can we get Stacy
considering
back? Can we get, can we
he's
get
probably already
Stacy
gone.
back? Can Stacy come back and let's ask? Cause, you know,
Can Stacy come back? But she's already left the building, I think. You gonna see if you can get her? Tracy will try to see if she can get Stacy right quick.
cause I think if we have a motion on the floor, you know, and it is an excellent point, you know, lives are very important. And it's a gray area that our board's struggling with. I think we need to get her back because she was available, so that we can talk about this. I mean, is it or isn't it? I mean, I agree a life is very important and, you know, we have 19,000, 5 is a lot, but you know, there's some excellent points there because lives are, you can't replace that. So it would be important for me to see what Stacy, you know, has to say about it from a legal standpoint.
Well, the shooting on Van Wert last week, according to the occupants of the car that were left, the guy in the back seat was planning on shooting the deputy when he got there. And they were arguing with him about not doing it. And he had a modified AR that evidently accidentally went off. You know, it's kind of fortunate that it did. Unfortunately, he killed himself when he did it.
Janet, do you know where they stand as far as funding? I haven't talked to Chief since the benefit.
I think they have enough, and I don't want to speak for him, Andy, I'd
Yeah.
rather not say.
Okay.
But they've raised quite a bit, but I think the scope, again, I don't have a problem with it, but I think $5,000 for the amount that's in our budget that's a lot to take away, when we don't know where we're gonna be next year as well.
With side grants, if somebody could.
Have the money for the gateway signs and all that stuff, so.
Tracy, I'm sorry. What was, were you able to get a hold of her?
Yeah, she's gonna call. She was in the car, but she said she'd be home in just a second. Call back in.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello?
There she is.
Oh, there she is.
Hey,
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Can she hear you?
I know. I'm sorry. I must have done something wrong with my phone. But I'm here now. If you have a question?
Stacy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Commissioner Taylor has made a motion to fund, use DDA funds to donate to the Villa Rica Police Department's vest fundraiser. And it was brought up to me by a couple of persons prior to tonight's meeting that this may be outside the scope of the DDA's spending authority or the statute that governs our spending authority. And I brought that up not realizing that you had already left, or I knew you had already left, but not thinking that maybe we should have had you stay, and I apologize for that. But do you have an opinion on whether something like this would fit under the DDA's spending authority or the statute that governs the DDA?
And I'm not sure I caught all that, but is it for some charitable purpose for the police department? Is that the proposed expenditure?
Yes. Fundraiser.
A fundraiser? I think and I don't have my board book with me. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I think like it's generally to promote trade, commerce for the downtown area. So I'm not sure, like a charitable gift is typically not something a development or a DDA would do, unless we can tie it to somehow with downtown commerce. So it's really not within, I think, the contemplated purposes of a development authority.
And I do have one question on that note. When we made like a donation for the hospital, wouldn't it be along those same lines, you know, when they were on the front lines for COVID? So that's where I would really like a description, because what Bill is proposing, Mr. Taylor, it seems if we base it on what we've done like earlier this COVID season, you know, maybe 5,000 is too much. Maybe we could reduce it, but that's where I would just like a little clarity, because I'm a newbie. That's what my son would call me. So I just would like some I would like to understand it better, just so we can better serve, because to me, it feels like the same as giving money to COVID, you know, for the people at the hospital.
I think the way to have, and that's probably not the typical expenditure the DDA would make either, but it was, I think, the way we could have said the purpose that within it was because it was promoting, helping a downtown restaurant, where the funds went to the downtown restaurant, which helped the workers and just the unusual circumstances during the pandemic. Because typically, I don't think we would donate for workers either, but it was to help the economics of the restaurant as well. But I can definitely get you all some materials on the typical expenditures that a DDA would have. I know some members are new and probably haven't had a chance to go to training yet because of COVID, but that's not the usual type of expenditure a DDA would have.
So Stacy,
Yes.
this is Bill. I look at the police department as an integral part of the infrastructure of the city, just as important as water, sewer, et cetera. And this is to buy bulletproof vests that would repel high-powered rifles. The vest that they wear right now will stop a pistol bullet, but not a AR or a higher powered rifle. And to me, that's part of the helping the downtown, helping the city as a whole too, to have a well-equipped police department to answer the call when necessary, which they never know when that call is going to come.
Are those, is it for the police within, is it for the police as a whole, for the whole city, or just the downtown area? Is it for
It'll be for all of the police, because you don't know where they're going to be when they need them.
Right. I mean, I guess an argument could be made that would be authorized, but I think it's a little bit out of the ordinary, and I think you know your board will want to look, is this the best purpose of these funds that I think you have some funds from the city and that you're charged with helping the downtown area. So I think that's not the typical expenditure I would see for helping the DDA with the DDA purposes.
Okay.
All right, we had a motion. Does that motion die?
Should we table it until we get the further
Yeah,
information?
or if we want to table this, to have a motion to table this till we get more understanding from Stacy.
I make that motion.
All right, well, we got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Wait, what was the motion? I had trouble hearing. Was it to table it?
A motion to table till we get a better understanding from Stacy Blackman.
I agree. Yes, I agree with that.
Did everybody agree to that there? Bill,
Bill, did you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
thank you.
Okay, consideration of facade grant for First Presbyterian Church. I think we halfway been over that one anyway, right?
Yeah, so Tracy mentioned to me if I wanted to bring it back up just to get a full census of you guys' opinion on that and then vote on it. So as you guys know, one of the members of the church, the First Presbyterian Church, had reached out to me to see if churches in the downtown area were a consideration for facade. So if you guys want to discuss and then vote, so that I can let him know one way or the other what your opinion is on that.
I think Bill just about summed it up anyway, so.
Do they have an active business license?
I would have to check.
Okay. That was my only question throughout that, but reading over the application, it does, like Bill said, it needs to be something related to a profitable or something to bring economic value.
Okay.
It is my understanding that churches are not liable for any kind of property taxes, which would be the main function for a facade grant, would be to raise the tax base for the downtown area.
Okay.
So we do have a motion to deny.
So moved.
We got a motion from Bill. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I heard a second from somebody. Was that
Kim.
Kimberly? All right. Motion to second. All in favor?
Okay.
Okay, discussion of possible grant for attracting new restaurants downtown.
I was, in bringing up the other application status and looking at that, could we come up with a way to have a matching grant, very similar to the facade grant, for a restaurant that wanted to make improvements to their restaurant to either offer something different, offer something new, something in a way to help restaurants in this time and in any time, just to be able to look at something and have a little less investment in something if they want to try to bring in a different, say, Uncorked, if they wanted to bring in a pizza oven and it
Kinda
was,
like
I
Main
cannot
Street.
hear Andy.
sorry, Bill, say Uncorked wanted to bring in a pizza oven and come in and put up a proposal just like the facade grant, hey, it's going to cost X amount, and you come in and match it, and we rewrite or write a new grant application based on that, specifically to restaurants. The facade grant, that can help the exterior of something, but why can't we help a restaurant do something a little more productive and give them an opportunity here?
That's the point of the rules on grant that we just got awarded.
Doesn't the Main Street Board
It,
have something
it-
similar?
Well, similar, but that's more, to me, retail.
Well, it's part of the rule zone is that you can be used for a rehab credit.
Okay, so that could go towards.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we have that for 5 years. That's why I beg people all the time, that's money that the state is giving us, and everybody needs to take part of that. And we were hosting training sessions in the beginning, and then COVID hit, obviously, but we absolutely, that is what they need to take advantage of that rule zone. And it's all that information is online, everything they need, the application. Certainly, I don't ultimately approve that. The DCA approves that, but all they have to do is turn in the application for me. But we see stuff all the time. Miss Sharon and I and Shannon drive around, and we're like, why didn't they come to us first to get that money, whether it be rehab or tax credit or investment credit? I mean, that is absolutely what that is, the intention of that grant is.
Okay. Does it read that way online to that effect, or is it?
Yes.
Kind of read into it? Okay.
And
So
Kim-
it says to you as a business owner, it says to you as someone who's renting property, all that is laid out, page upon page. And then if they have questions, they certainly can call us. For
And
sure.
also, I think, as Jerry was pointing out, Main Street has a very similar grant program too, with purchasing equipment and so forth.
Right, but we're not offering any grants for the rest of the year. We haven't since
Okay.
February. We don't have any revenue coming in. We're not generating revenue because we're not having events, so we can't offer any grants. But obviously, you guys have the facade, but as far as boost grant and exterior improvement grant, we can't offer any of that for the rest of the year because we don't have the funds to do so. We only can offer that if funds are available.
Right.
But hopefully in '21, we'll get back to normal.
That answers your question, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's good to know. The other grant is an option. The other grant, is it a match or is it a full grant?
Boost is not a match. Exterior improvement is a match.
No, the
Facade.
rural. No, the
Oh, I don't think it's a match. Does that help?
very much.
Okay.
All right, moving on down to number 4, discussion of November, December meetings.
Typically, I don't think we meet in November because it's the week of Thanksgiving. Do you guys want to give feedback on that? And then the next meeting is the Monday after Christmas week. So we need to discuss meeting.
We
I
don't
don't think we
usually have
meet
one.
November or December, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I think we've usually meet in November, but no
Not in
December meeting.
December, yeah.
Okay.
But if we don't have anything really pushing,
But, I mean, November, we could meet on the 16th if, people don't want to do Thanksgiving week.
yeah, if we had anything called,
Yeah, if you guys have something, let's make a vote on it for November, and then we'll plan not to meet in November, but you guys need to make a motion so we can put that on the calendar.
You mean not to meet in December?
Correct.
Okay.
And then we can change the November meeting to that 16th, the
Mhm.
Monday before? Okay.
do we have a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move the November meeting to the 16th and not have a December meeting.
All right, have a
Second.
motion, have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Thanks.
Okay, number 6, public comment. Item for future agenda.
I actually have something for that, maybe. It was kind of public comment, but maybe an item for future agenda. Since I was already thinking about this, Janet, and then when you brought up the rule zone, it kind of also kind of thought maybe this will fold in there. Do we have any kind of contact or communications with the owner of, I guess it's called the Spanish Corner, right there at the corner of Peachtree, South Dogwood, the commonly known as the Pepto-Bismol building? Do we have any communication with them? Have we?
He owns the dry cleaner.
Yeah, have we, I mean, maybe we just talk to him about, make sure he's aware of these Rural Run grant and maybe some pressure washing and some paint to update it a little bit at
Dover's
least.
Pike.
Honestly, the thought and our understanding was that when he painted, when the roof fell in on that one side, that
Mhm.
all of that was gonna get fixed, which did not happen, but certainly we can.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. And I don't know if you need any support from us to the extent it needs to be an item on the future agenda, I guess.
I had another thing on future agenda item too, to update on Butterballs. I've noticed that they've been doing some work done on Butterballs, so I'd like to update next meeting, or you can go to give it to us now then.
So the city council recently approved our 2021 budget. Within that was $500,000, which Matt can talk a little bit about more, but that would be the exterior for this year, for 21, and then hopefully for the following year we can do interior, but that's my understanding, is the 500 is for the exterior, correct, Matt?
That is exactly right.
Good.
Yes.
Progress is being seen then.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else on first future agenda? Executive session. Do I have motion to adjourn the DDA meeting?
So moved.
Got a motion, to have a second?
And a second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? All right, it's 6:47, we'll call the CBB meeting to order. Has everybody taken a chance to look over the minutes from our last meeting? If so, do I hear a motion?
I wasn't, oh, we had, oh, no, this is, that's right, we
you
were,
were
I
last.
was here, August 24th, right? Okay, I thought this was the one I missed, I apologize. I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, financial report, I
No,
think
that
Carl's.
was that just for the regular meeting? And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the special called meeting on October 1st.
Okay, do I have a second on that one?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, you get everybody's vote, Tracy? Okay, moving on down to 3, financial report. I think Carl's done handed out a sheet on
Yeah, I
that.
handed out and I emailed it to you guys that are online. I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but I sent out an email about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I guess it was, with the same report we've been looking at every month. On one side, you've got your revenue and expenses for the year to date as of the end of September, so January through the end of September. And you'll see that it's down close to $20,000 from last year, which is actually better than we thought it would be, considering COVID. And you'll notice the expenses, we cut out a lot and when we were redoing the budget because of COVID. So we're actually in decent shape, because while the revenue's down about 20,000, the expenses are down 38,000. So we do have a little bit of a surplus there, so that's good. But I know that Sharon hadn't been able to travel or do anything, and now she's starting to travel again and do some things. So, well, those expenses will probably catch up, but we'll still stay within the revised budget numbers. And then on the back side of that, or on the second page for you guys that got it online, just this running tally I've been doing every month, comparing this year to last year in terms of the tax collections that we're getting each month. And you'll see that it's still down from last year, but it's seeming to be picking back up. You know, it's September was off about $3,000. But if you look back in the worst of it, you know, we were about $4,000 off in May. So overall for the year, you know, we're down 20,000, like I said, but this just kind of gives you a trend of how things are going with the hotels.
Any questions from Carl?
Sharon, do you have anything to add to that? Nope. Okay.
All right, moving on down to number 4, old business update on tourism. That must be Miss Sharon.
Trip over stuff. I just wanted to let y'all know what I have been doing. We hosted travel writers on the 10th through the 12th. They actually left on the 12th. One of the articles was pitched before they got here. There was there was a couple, so actually 3 of them, a couple and then a separate gentleman that was with them. But so she pitched the story about Villa Rica before she came here to travelawaits.com, and I've heard of that website. It's a online. They get 1 million views a month, and they actually picked the story up. So the article, she has to have it turned in by Wednesday. So she's gonna, they wanna know about the Gold Museum, the train, and we took them to Uncork. And they really enjoyed Uncork. They really enjoyed Evans Barbecue. So those are some of the stories that'll be coming out. They also, and I just kind of took them around the area. They wanted to see the surrounding cities, so we went to Douglasville and we went to Carrollton. And they gave us some, gave me some pointers on what, if we could get the downtown businesses to do here, expand their hours or things like that, especially on the week, on a Sunday after church, because there was a lot of foot traffic in Carrollton. So we took note of that and just some ideas. But she also will be writing a story for Travel the South. It's a food, wine, and travel magazine, and that's going to be coming out next month. The other thing, she's wanting to do a live feed with Uncorked and the owners of Uncorked and me and Wesley. We did a live feed while they were here, Wesley and I. And I went to the AAA offices, dropped off some brochures in Atlanta and the Atlanta and Marietta offices. Last Friday, went to Ringgold, so the state welcome centers are now, they had taken all of the brochures out of the racks, all of them, but they are putting them back in. So that's good, because it just kind of shows that tourism is slowly kind of ticking back up. And there was a lot of people coming through when I was there, mostly seniors. I figured they were the snowbirds heading to Florida. But that's a good center for us there, right off of 75. And got a request from the State Tourism Department last week. AAA Magazine was looking for events for March and April of 2021. So I sent them our jazz festival, and I'm going to have Wesley send his cowboy festival, whatever he's going to do in April next year. And I started a new YouTube channel for Visit Villa Rica. So if you're on YouTube, yeah, I knew you were going to do YouTube, but
I got YouTube now.
so go on and like our page, our Visit Villa Rica page on YouTube. And that's what's going on in the world of tourism.
All right, moving on down to number 5, new business. Discussion of November, December meetings. So we've done discussed that on the other one, so that settles that one. Okay, public comment.
Do we still need to vote to change those dates for the
CBB?
Because it's set
Yeah.
for.
Okay. We have a motion to change the meetings to the 16th for November and no meeting in December.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to change the dates for the meetings.
All right, got a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
And I do have one more thing before you wrap it up.
I got a question too. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Shoot, now I can't remember what it is. I thought about it while Sharon was talking, and then it left me. Oh, the new tourism board.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Has anything happened, because we were talking about that taking effect 1/1, so we would only have one meeting left. Is that anything moving on that?
I'll discuss it with Tom on Wednesday and see, how he's gonna go about that.
So we'll get an update on that at the next meeting?
I can,
Well, that was my
Okay.
same question too. Okay.
Okay, all right.
And just quickly, guys, remember, for next month, we're gonna talk about facade grant. So read the application, discuss what you wanna change, and let's talk about it in November and move on from that. So that'd be great.
All right, everybody hear that on the facade grant application? Read over it, discuss it, come back at the 16th meeting and vote on it. All right, items for future agenda. Executive sessions. Do I have motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Second from Matt, all in favor? And who does this need to go to? Sign, DDR chairman, and,
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
and all you need is that right there?
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Hey, Alan,
Yes, sir.
is Brett getting those, or excuse me, is Wynn getting those little cards that